Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Guide series in Dead by Daylight Mobile. For the last episode, we went over a little bit on some tips for Survivor that is new to the game and how to do 360. This time however, I want to touch on the topic of Survivor items in the game. Having an understanding of what these items do, combining with their individual add-on, will help you know how to mix and match these items and add-on that will be suitable to your build. Now, I divided this video into 5 parts for the 5 corresponding items: Medkit, Toolbox, Keys, Maps, and Flashlight. Also take into account that I won't be considering the great skill check buff because that's a variable that depends on the player themselves. Alright, with that out of the way, let's jump into it. For simplicity's sake, I'll be calling most of the items by their color, like for example, brown medkit or yellow medkit. There are 4 types of medkit: brown, yellow, green, and purple. Now, the reason I put medkit and toolbox at the beginning is because they share the same unit of measure: charges and speed. The charges represent how long the item will last, and the speed represents how quick the action can be performed while the item still exists. But to be honest with you, the charges is equivalent to about 1 second, so keep that in mind moving forward. For healing 1 health state, you require 16 charges in the medkit, no more, no less. So no matter how many add-on you put to increase the healing speed or debuff from the killer, the amount of time you can heal will stay the same. The green and brown medkit can heal 1 time, the yellow medkit can heal 1.5, while the purple medkit can heal 2 health state. All of them have some speed buff for healing your teammate, except for the green medkit, which also has a speed buff for healing yourself. The item themselves is very self-explanatory, so now onto the add-on. For add-on, there are the basic more charges add-on and more speed add-on. Then there's the self-adherent wrap, which add both speed and charges. But be aware that the abdominal dressing add-on will boost your healing speed greatly, but also reducing your charges by 8. So keep this in mind which add-on and medkit you bring along with it, or you won't be able to heal a health state fully. Now for the juicy part. The Styptic Agent is a purple add-on that when used will grant the survivor the endurance status effect for the next 8 seconds, meaning if you are injured and get hit in the next 8 seconds, you will not go down but instead go into the deep wound state. This will help give you the hit speed boost to help you make it to another loop or pallet in order to prolong the chase. But remember that after using this add-on, the medkit will be used up completely, no matter how many charges are left on it. So try to use it when your medkits only have a few charges left. The anti-hemorrhagic syringe, Jesus Christ, what a mouthful, is a red add-on that when used, it will passively heal you after 16 seconds of using it. It's a great way to heal yourself while you can do other things in the process. But just like the Styptic Agent, this add-on will consume the medkit once it has been used. So these 2 add-ons can only be run separately, but not together, because once you use one of them, the medkit will disappear and you cannot use the other. Some people make the argument that is in case they run into different situations and they can choose which one to use. To that I say it's very wasteful, and the amount of time that that situation come in hand is slim to none. For toolboxes, there are 6 different toolboxes that serve different purposes. So that is why I'm splitting them up into 3 different groups: Gen Toolbox, Sabotage Toolbox, and Mutual Toolbox. Gen Toolbox and Sabo Toolbox are very self-explanatory. They are specifically made for doing gens or saboing hooks, and it is not meant for the other, because they will actually have debuff for the other action. Mutual Toolbox are those that have some buff for one or both sides, but with the help of add-on, it can be used for either purposes. Now in the case of sabotaging, it had the same process as a medkit. It required about 6 charges to sabo 1 hook, but for repairing generator, that line is a bit blurred, because 1 toolbox does not fix 1 gen completely. The process will be continued by repairing normally. So how long does the toolbox last and how fast the toolbox repair sort of serve the same purpose in this scenario. For example, one toolbox have a lot of charges but only have a slightly fast speed. versus a toolbox that has a decent amount of charges but have tremendously fast speed, will have about the same result when both toolboxes ran out. Here are some comparison with no add-on when all toolbox ran out. As you can see, it's not that much different. For add-on, we have the basic more charges add-on and more speed add-on for both fixing gen and sabotaging hooks. Very basic, just like the Medkit. Now for more interesting and gimmicky add-on. The instruction add-on will eliminate skill checks while using the toolbox, which is cool, I guess. If you're really sucky at skill checks, then you could probably put this on. Noise reducing add-on, we have the protective glove, would prevent the killer from getting notified when you sabotage a hook, or spring clamp, which reduce the noise of hearing generator by 8 meters. This is quite an underrated add-on because on the mobile version, the killer can actually see these little icons showing whether the generator is running or not, so having this add-on would throw some new killer for a loop, as they will move to a certain distance, not see the icon, and then move on to another gen. For the only red add-on for the toolbox, we have brand new part. When using the toolbox with brand new part, 2 hard skill checks will appear. Hitting these will result in a 5% progression. A very strong add-on. Just imagine a team full of brand new part and prove thyself. A disclaimer that instruction would not eliminate skill check for brand new part, although it would be a cool idea. Behavior, if you're watching, make it happen. Next is a quick one with only 2 different variations. Map. Map are used for tracking the many objects on the map, from hooks and generator to totem and exit gate. There's a green map and a red map. The green map is probably the second most useless thing on its own without any add-on, where the red map is actually fairly decent if you know how to use it right. The green map can only track generator. Yep, that's it. I know, it sucks. While the red map can actually track generator, hooks, totem, exit gate, and even the hatch. For add-on, we have the basic increase the duration add-on, which increase how long you can use the item for. And we also have the range increase add-on that increase the aura reading range of the map, which is always a great thing. The string add-on, which pretty much help turn a green map into a red map, that's basically it. So keep in mind that these 3 string add-on are useless on the red map. For the interesting add-on, first we have glass bead. While using the map, it will give you the option to put down this light beacon that only survivor can see. It helps you identify a location that you want your teammate to be in, whether that's a gen you're working on or a totem you want them to break. Crystal bead allow all of the survivor to see what you see when activating the map. Map is not a super useful item if you're familiar with the layout of the map and the possible spawning location, but it could make things somewhat easier when paired with some other perks. For example, map can complement the perk Inner Strength by using a map to find totem easier. Or after the perk Detective Hunch has activated, the map can now also track chests. Keys are a very simple item to understand. It helps you open the hatch and that's it. Easy peasy. However, there's the green key, which is the most useless thing in the game on its own. It does absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing at all. The purple key and the red key both open the hatch, but where they are different is in the add-on. If the map can track all the objects on the map, then the key can track all the people. These add-ons can help you track other survivors on the map when they are in a certain range, but the unique wedding ring is a bit different. I'll talk about it once later. Of course, as a tracking item like the map, we also have the duration increase and range increase add-on. Some unique purple add-on the key has is anti-loss add-on. The weave ring add-on helps in case if you die, you will still be able to keep the key, you will only lose this add-on. The milky glass is the same, but it's in the case where you have used your key on the hatch in the last game. The Blood Amber is probably one of my favorite add-ons to use. It allows you to see the killer's aura when activated. It's in the 32 meter range, so exactly like most killer terror radius. So the moment that you hear the heartbeat, you can activate the key and see where the killer is coming from. It's a super great add-on. Now to be honest, for these aura tracking add-on, the only key viable enough to use it on is the red key with 30 seconds of use. The purple has 5 seconds and the green is 10. These keys, even with the duration extend add-on, won't last too long, and that's when the unique wedding ring come in. This ring will reduce your chance of becoming the obsession and passively track the aura of the obsession as well. So that means no need for activating it, and throughout the match you can always see the aura of the obsession. A very unique add-on, I would say. Last but not least, the weapon that every Toxic Nia has, the flashlight. There are 3 variations: yellow, green, and purple. Flashlight is a bit different from the rest, as it is the offensive item that helps survivor fight back against the killer. Flashlight have a couple of its own confusingly named attributes, just like the rest, that include brightness, blindness duration, beam width, beam range, and accuracy. Brightness does not reflect how bright the flashlight visually is, but rather how fast you can blind the killer. Blindness duration is easy to understand, it's how long you can blind the killer for. Beam width is how big the beam is so that you can hit the killer's face easier. Beam range is the range that the flashlight can still be effective from. And accuracy means how stable your character can hold the flashlight. Cause for example, when injured, your character sorta wobbles a lot. Now flashlights sorta have multiple buffs on one add-on, so it's a bit awkward to divide them into category, but instead I'll go over what item to use. For the beginners, I would suggest a bigger beam width and accuracy. If you're finding it a hard time to blind killer accurately, then these add-ons will help you improve tremendously. But when you're used to that, you should start moving over to add-on that increase brightness and blindness duration. Brightness would change the timing of how fast you can blind the killer for, so try to time it a bit when you're trying to go for a teammate save, but I'll touch on that in a little bit. Blindness duration is obviously to prolong the blindness duration so you and your teammate can get away further. And remember to always aim for the face, even in the case of Demogorgon, even though he has a butthole for a face. Now onto the last part, what can a flashlight do? It blinds killer. Yeah, sure, everyone knows that. But there's a bit more depth to it than that. Not only can you blind killer, you can also save your teammate from the killer grasp. This can be performed by blinding the killer at the moment that the killer finished the animation of picking your teammate up. No sooner or later. Too soon and it will only be a normal blind. Too late and a good killer can look away easily. That's why I mentioned about the timing when using the brightness increase add-on beforehand. Brightness increase can help you get in those clutch last second save, but in normal circumstances, it can also mess with your timing, so be aware of that. Other thing that a flashlight can do is destroy Hag's trap when you shine your flashlight on it. It can also light burn ghost-like killer like Wraith, Nurse, and Spirit. Shining a flashlight for a few seconds on a clothed Wraith or a Nurse that is charging her blink, they will be momentarily stunned. It is safe to say that flashlight is probably one of the hardest things to master, but once you have mastered it, you'll be an absolute pro. Well, that's it for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video took so much time and effort to make, so please like, comment, subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Let's try to get to 200 subscribers by the end of this month. Well, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.